Hello and welcome to another ConferZoom tips and tricks instructional video. For this video, we're going to cover some of the new security features and how to best secure your Zoom meeting. So let's jump in. So here we are in a Zoom meeting. You can see I have a test user who has joined the Zoom session. I don't have my screen shared and I don't have my video started. So all you see is this information right here. So the new security feature is right here. You'll see instead of the invite button, you'll see the security item. This is a great new feature that is designed to help prevent any issues with other people that come into your Zoom meeting that you don't want to be there. So if you click on security, you can lock the meeting. That will prevent anybody new from joining. So once all of your students or all of your coworkers are in the meeting with you, you can lock the meeting and nobody else will be able to join. The other thing that you can do, let's unlock it by clicking on it. The other thing that you can do is enable a waiting room. When you enable a waiting room, it means that anyone who joins is going to be in a waiting room space. They will not be in your actual meeting. You will see an option up here to the right where you'll be able to let that person in. So let's say you've let somebody in and maybe you didn't realize that they are not the person you thought they were, right? So anybody can name themselves when they enter a Zoom meeting, and maybe they have a name that sounds familiar to you, so you let them in. If they start causing trouble, go to the security tab and you'll be able to instantly remove a participant from your meeting. You'll see the list right here of participants and you'll be able to click remove. They will not be able to rejoin by default. Okay, so once you remove them, they're out of that meeting, which is really, really convenient. So we're not gonna actually do that. There's a couple of other options here under the security icon where we can prohibit them from sharing their screen. So you'll see allow is set for sharing screen, chat, renaming themselves in your meeting. So if I don't want them to share my screen, I have to click here. And now nobody except for me can share my screen. I can also prohibit anybody from chatting and prohibit them from renaming themselves. So any of these are nice options for you. The other thing you'll be able to do is to manage your participants. So right now this is the Manage Participants panel. I'll show you what it looks like when it's closed. I can click it to close it, click it to open it. And this gives me several options. I can mute everyone in the session, which is really, really handy if you come in and you have somebody who doesn't realize their microphone's on. So they're in the background making noise, or maybe you get that feedback or an echo. Hit mute all and everyone in your session will be muted. You can also unmute everyone, which is a really nice feature if you've started by muting everybody at once. So they're going to get a notification on their screen that will ask them if they want to be unmuted. The other thing you can do is click these three dots and you'll see a menu that looks like this. You'll be able to mute participants upon entry, which means anyone who comes into your meeting is automatically muted. They're able to unmute themselves by default because of this option here, this item that allows participants to unmute themselves. If you don't want them to be able to unmute themselves, then you'll click those three dots and you'll click this to make that check mark go away, which will no longer allow them to unmute themselves. Now, this is a handy feature, but here's the problem. If you do this, you have to be very adept at unmuting everyone. So if we go back into that Manage Participants pane, you have to be able to unmute them often, because if they can't unmute themselves, then if you're holding your session, you ask a question, you unmute them, they accept, they answer your question, then they'll mute themselves again. And then if you try to ask another question, they won't be able to unmute themselves until you select Unmute All. The other way to do this is to go to that Manage Participants panel, hover your mouse over the person that you want to be able to speak, and then select Unmute under those More options. So you have to be very careful if you select this option, and just keep in mind that you'll have to click unmute all from this manage participants pane every time. So I would use this judiciously. And again, you have those other options where, just like you had in the security panel, where you could not allow them to rename themselves, right? Or you can lock the meeting. So again, the security tab is really the place that you're going to want to go to do these things, but you can do them here under Manage Participants as well. So just to recap, we covered two things to keep your Zoom meeting secure. We covered the security icon and we covered the Manage Participants panel. So both of those, when you're in your meeting, are going to be here and here. Security is the fastest way to remove a participant. This is really the key takeaway from this video, so make sure that you know how to use that security icon. So that's it for this session. If you want to learn more or see the latest tips and tricks, go to hartnell.edu/pdc/guides/ConferZoom. Thanks for watching.